In Milwaukee, I stayed in a hotel named the Fister. That was the name, the Fister. And obviously they were sensitive to it sounding weird, so they added a P at the front, so it was the Puffister. Hey, it worked for Michelle Pfeiffer. And that hotel was started by a man named Guido Fister, who thought, my name's Guido Fister, why don't I go into hospitality? Guido Fister. His name sounds like an ethnic slur. Get out of here, you Guido Fister! Go fish somewhere else! I don't know if you can tell by looking at me, but I'm kind of obsessed with not being interested in fashion. It's something I care deeply not about. And I'm aware that not being into fashion is a fashion choice, right? How annoying is that? It's like, oh, you're not into fashion? That means you're in the normcore. Why can't I just wear clothes to cover my disgusting body? Why must it be a choice? Because the only choice I make when it comes to clothing is, does it still fit me? I don't know if you've had an opportunity to fat out of clothes. That's a special feeling. There are watershed moments in your life, right? When you hold your newborn child or you fat out of a t-shirt. It's amazing, because you don't even go to the obvious conclusion. You're like, well, this sure used to fit. I haven't grown since I was a teenager. Oh, I'm a fat ass. Well, time for a burrito. I don't know. The best is when you pack for a trip and you fat out of clothes, but you don't realize until you get there. You sit there and you go, well, I guess I could wear that as long as I don't breathe out. Or sit down. You ever wear a shirt you can't sit down in? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna stand. I know it's Thanksgiving. I'm more thankful standing. Better angle for carving. I still have all the clothes that don't fit me. They're in my closet in case I have a dramatic weight loss over a weekend. It's ridiculous. It's like I'm curating an exhibit of my weight gain. Well, that suit was from 30 pounds ago, and that sweater was from last winter, and this shirt never fit. Have you done that? Have you bought clothes that don't fit thinking that'll be the incentive to lose weight? It's like, well, I've only gained weight for the last 40 years. Maybe this shirt will turn it around. How'd you lose weight? I bought a shirt. It worked. No, fashion's kind of wasted on me. You know, like those fashion shows. To me, fashion shows just look like skinny teenagers walking around in their parents' clothes looking for food. Wow, there's no food out there. All right, I'll change my outfit and look again. Fashion shows are rather absurd when you consider they're just people sitting around watching people walk around in clothes, which is what people do in clothes every day. But at fashion shows, they're so fascinated. They're like, oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Look at that person walking close. How do they do it? Oh, if only we could watch them do laundry. And we all know what a fashion show is because we've seen it on TV. In December, they televised the Victoria's Secret fashion show, which is excellent, by the way. Well, that one's different because there's angels, so there's a spiritual aspect to the thongs they're peddling. It's interesting, all the models are beautiful. You ever notice that? You're like, yeah, Jim, that's the point. No, but all the models, they pick people that would look good in any clothing. Like, if you want me to buy a suit, show me Michael Moore looking good in it. And I'm not picking on Michael Moore. I'm friends with him. I like Michael Moore. And not just because he proves you don't need to shower to be famous. You ever see Michael Moore on television? He looks like he's been robbed of everything he owns. Are you the victim of a shipwreck? What happened? Pull it together. You won an Academy Award. Stop shopping at the Lost and Found. But I understand Michael Moore's mentality. Fashion's not going to change his life. It's not going to change my life. I look the same whether I'm wearing a t-shirt or a tux. I still look like someone who eats fast food. Probably because I do eat fast food. I look the way I look. Look, I didn't vote for Trump, but I walked around New York City and everyone the week after the election looked at me like, you did it. You did it. And I was like, I didn't do it. But after a couple days, I was like, did I do it? I know people are scared about Trump being president, but I can tell you, as a straight white male, I feel like I'll be okay. My wife hates that joke. And I love her, but not enough to get rid of that joke. I would do anything for my wife. I'm aware of that. But there are people that are more romantic. Prince Edward abdicated his right to the English throne for the woman he loved. Isn't that unbelievable? He was forced to choose between the woman he loved or being King of England. And that idiot chose the broad. Now, I'm sure in that moment it was the right decision, and I'm happily married, but even in the best relationship, each person has thoughts where they go, I've made an enormous mistake. But we never thought I could have been King of England. Do you think Prince Edward really ever got over that? Every time he had to empty the trash, he's like, the King of England doesn't have to empty trash. The King of England can chat with his ex on Facebook. Can you imagine what kind of news event that abdication was in the UK? There must have been, he's gone mad. We should get him to hospital. Jim, your British accent is getting worse. Why wouldn't you take 5 minutes and learn a good accent? It's just lazy. It's just lazy.
Ninth grade came along, I decided to do the same thing. This was the bicentennial year in our country, 1976. I was a patriotic lad, but I didn't want to dress like Uncle Sam. No, apparently, I wanted to dress like a 4th of July picnic table cover. You know, the funniest thing to me about that photo is the fact that I have braces. Why is that funny? Well, the rest of my life I'm going to be talking with my mouth shut, so what's the point? I know most of you looking at these photos and thinking, this is the saddest human being we've ever met. Did you have any friends? Yes, I did. Here we are sitting in my bedroom one day. So now I had about 15 minutes in my show. I knew I wanted to add something else, some variety. I thought, music? Yes, something cool. Rock and roll guitar? No, something cooler. I'll play the trombone. I'm gonna let this photo soak in just for a minute. There is so much wrong here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start with the least obvious, and that's my dummy up in the corner listening to me play the trombone. But now, let's talk about fashion, shall we? How did my mother even let me out of the house? And this wasn't some accident on a Saturday morning where I accidentally threw on the wrong clothes. This was an outfit I wore to school regularly. I don't know why I didn't get beat up on a regular basis. I must have gone to the store and said, do you have any pants that don't even go with themselves? This next photo, you know, my parents were supportive, but every once in a while in a child's life, the parents must step in and say, enough is enough. Apparently, my parents did not do this, as is evidenced by this next photo. And by the way, none of these photos have been photoshopped. Everything is legit. Everything's real. I promise you. So that's how sad it is. But this next photograph, I don't remember how it happened. All I know is that we went to the professional portrait studio, and this was the family portrait that hung in our living room this big for years. You know, maybe and the weird part is my parents had family and friends over for parties a lot. And this was hanging right there in plain view, and no one ever said anything. They must have thought, well, the food's good. Let's go to the mentally ill people's house. All right, so that's high school. High school. And time to pick up chicks. It was the late 70s, disco was king. I had my silk shirt, my dummy, and my porn mustache. Now, this next photo I found in a box just recently, and some photos just go without explanation. I don't remember what this was. I don't remember what was going on. I don't know. I don't know. Let's examine this, shall we? I'm standing in my parents' front yard. On the hood of this vehicle is the largest stuffed animal known to man. I don't know how it got at home. I don't know why it was there. I don't know what the hell it is. Also on the hood of the vehicle is R2-D2. My dummy is dressed up like a bad Luke Skywalker knockoff. And I'm wearing a frickin' Hawaiian shirt. It's like Tom Selleck jumped out of the closet and went, guess what?
You know, this was not my first choice of an outfit, but me and my wife seem to play a game every time I'm going to go do something important called, that's not what you're really going to wear, is it? I try to tell her all the time, I'm like, no, baby, this is what I would have wore if I was still single. Yeah, this outfit is what we call in married land a compromise, everybody. The jacket she picked out, it's Armani, and and the shirt is JCPenney. I picked it out. The belt buckle's kind of special to me. A friend of mine actually gave it to me. This is a true story. He was riding in a rodeo event, and he got thrown from the horse, and he cracked his skull open, and he was in a coma for 31 days. Actual true story. And they were going to kill him. They were literally going to pull the plug on him on a Friday. On Thursday, he wakes up and miraculously still lived. And he gave me the belt buckle. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You can clap for that, sure. And when he gave me the belt buckle, he said, Bill, I want you to wear this belt buckle just to remind you how short and precious life truly is. And then I also want you to love your wife with all your heart, dude, all your heart. And I said, well, why would you say that? And he goes, because my wife was ready to pull the plug on day 2. I'm so glad you guys came out for the show. You know, when we decided to put this thing together, I wanted to work a small club, because the last time I did my first special ever, we did it in a big theater, and I just didn't feel the connection. And this time, I'm so glad we're doing it in a small club like this. Thank you very much. When we first decided about doing a special, everybody started asking me, well, are you going to work clean or are you going to work dirty? Because for the first 5 years of my career, if you ever kept up with it, I worked pretty clean. In the next 15, not so much. And then the last 2 have kind of cleaned it up again, you know, because I'm trying to get closer to my faith, and apparently God's been looking for me. Who knew? But I try to clean it up some, you know, and then we decided to do this. And sometimes you don't know if clean is clean enough, because I had to do a corporate gig about 6 months ago. My agent called me and I didn't want to do it. And I said, I'm not going to do a corporate gig. I don't like doing them. And he said how much they were going to pay me. And I said, well, sure, I'll do that corporate gig. Then he called me 3 weeks before the gig. He said, Bill, they just called, little wrinkle. They want you to do the show without any 4-letter words in it. And I said, none at all. And he goes, they said it was okay as long as that word is in the Bible. So I spent 3 weeks reading that book. And I know it started out great. Everybody's naked. Then I got lost in the middle by the end. And I'm like, I don't know what's happened now, but there's 4 people on a horse. Right, this side read the Bible, bless your heart. And then he called me 2 weeks before the gig. He said, Bill, they just called again and said not to do anything of an explicit nature in that show. And I said, dude, did they even look at my tape? And then he called me 2 days before I did the gig. He said, they just called again and said, don't do anything that's religious, political, or controversial. So on behalf of me and my agent, I looked down and all I had left was a good night. So I do a different kind of breed of comedy these days. I like to call it adult humor, but without the adult language is what I try to do. It's kind of a different kind of deal, because I think grown-ups should be able to laugh, and sometimes we don't need the kids in the room, but sometimes you can't turn down the volume soon enough. I do. I kind of look at it like a Pixar movie, my comedy. You ever go to a Pixar movie where kids are laughing and mom and daddy are laughing at all the same time, but at 2 different jokes? That's what I try to accomplish each night, yeah.
All I want to do is I just want to help him out, because he just dresses weird right now. He just wants to wear comfortable clothes. All his clothes are so big. I'm like, I'm doing all right, man. Let me buy you some clothes. Man, I don't need no clothes. Yes, you do. My dad has 1 pair of jeans. One pair of jeans. He calls them the jeans. Oh, we going to the mall? Let me run upstairs and put on the jeans real quick. Stop. Why are you walking backwards? Come here. Don't do that. Come here. I'm gonna throw on the jeans. You going upstairs like that? You gonna go upstairs backwards? Well, I'm gonna put on the jeans real quick. Stop doing that. And they're so wide. They're wide as. They're so wide. They're so wide. They don't touch his legs or his shoes. They don't touch his legs or. My father could do like this. They wouldn't touch. They would just hover around his calf muscles. He could drop a tennis ball from his waist to the floor. He wouldn't touch nothing. It was just. They're so wide. I'm always like, Dad, man, let me get you some new pants, man. I don't need no pants. I'm like, well, what do you want? Give me some DVDs. What? Why do you want DVDs? I collect DVDs. Why? They're not collector's items. I know the box says that, but that's marketing. They don't mean that. My father, in my house, Decatur, Georgia, my father has an 8 by 10 foot shelf, just straight DVD. It's crazy. He thinks when people stop by, they're impressed by it. Hey, how you doing? You look good. How's your wife? You see my DVDs? And they're organized by actor. That's not a joke. They're organized by actor, and if 2 big actors share a movie, he buys 2 copies so they can share it together. It's ridiculous. And I got him all the streaming services. He has all the movies he can get just online. I'm like, Dad, I got you Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, HBO shows. I got you all that. Why are you still buying DVDs? He goes, first of all, thank you. Second of all, what if the power goes out? Yeah, you right. Because I know he meant Wi-Fi. God damn, I hope he meant Wi-Fi. I just got to find a way to get him out of these pants, man. It's goddamn. Because it's like these jeans that look. Oh my God! If you saw them, you'd be like, they don't sell these in stores. This is not, you can't just buy these at a place, okay? You gotta know somebody in the alley. And a special night, you gotta go, you want? Hey man, I came to buy some pants to embarrass my family. Do you have what I'm looking for? Man, here, get your, we got exactly what you're looking for. We got jeans on the left, DVDs on the right, so do whatever you want.